So hello everyone, today we are going to start with session number 14 in which we are going to make one part. In that part we are going to see whatever features we have learned till now, as well as we are going to see section views in that part. So to start with, I am going to refer this sketch. You can see here. We will start with making a base here. So you can see this base. We are going to make this base. Then we are going to go for this cylinder. Then the upper portion. And lastly we are going to make these ribs and cutouts. So to start with, I'm going to make this base first. We'll start the part molding now. This face of the base is coming at from the top reference. So we'll start with top plane here. I'll say extrude. Here we are going to say top plane. We are directly selecting the command and then going for the sketch. Now we need to make one circle. As you can see, the part ends are circular and the radius is given as 70. So the diameter will be 140 here. I'll take it 140. Say auto scale and OK. Next we are going to make one reference line here. And we are going to offset this line on both the directions. So the offset distance will be total 60, 30 on each side. So here I'll say offset 30. Select the line and you need to say accept at the upper end. Same way 30 on the other side also at the lower side. Next we are going to trim the extra lines here. After trimming the line, you can see this object is coming completely defined here. I'll make this line construction geometry as it was taken only for offset reference. Next we are going to trim the circles also here. Now this lower side plate profile has been completed. We have taken this dimension 60, that is 30 on both the sides, as well as we have taken this radius 70 so as to make the circle, and then we have made offset to trim the circle. Next we are going to make extrude. The size of extrusion is shown in top view. You can see here this section view AA has been referred as a top view. So you can see the thickness of the plate shown as 20 mm. So I'll say close sketch directly and we are going to say extrusion. The size of extrusion I am going to take here is 20. I'll say dynamic edit and change the value here as 20 mm. Next we are going to make the cylinder here. So to start with the cylinder, we have the diameter of 45 mm here. You can see here this reference diameter is given as 45. So again extrusion directly, select the face, draw the profile to extrude, say diameter as 45, say close sketch. Now the height of the extrusion here, it is given as 45 mm, you can see here. And with the upper profile, the total height is given from this base plate upper face is 60 mm. We want to make only this cylinder, that's why we are going to refer this 45 dimension. So I am going to take it as 45. Next we are going to make this upper profile here. So to start with the upper profile, I am going to make one 3-point arc here. We can also use circle command, but instead of that I am using 3-point arc. This relation is by default made, so I am going to delete this relation. Here we need to give the dimension for the arc, that is 73 radius. So this radius 73 has been referred there. The upper width of the profile, this total width from this quadrant to this quadrant of the arc is shown in the top view, that is 50 mm. We are going to make one construction line, say construction, and the length for this line is given 25 mm as the total width is 50 mm. That's why we are going to refer this as 25. Next I am going to make coincide this quadrant point and the circle. We'll make this relation as vertical on the both end sides. So this relation is coming vertical. Next you can see the total width of the arc is given as 88 mm. So from center I am going to refer the one end of the arc as 44. So this distance we are going to refer as 44. Next we are going to make line. Next we are going to make the upper line profile, that is this profile here. The width of the profile is given 10 mm and the depth will be defined from the center distance, that is 50 mm. You can see here this distance from the center, it is coming as 50 mm. So the depth of this line profile is having 25 mm distance from the center. We'll continue with the profile here. Provide the dimensions. I'll say it 10 mm and the depth from the center will be 25 mm. I'll mirror this arc on the other side also. So for that I'm going to select the profile first and then going to say mirror against this axis. And now we'll adjust this profile symmetric from the center axis Y. So I'll say this as center axis, symmetric axis, and both the lines will be symmetric. Lastly, we are going to connect this point on the arc endpoint. We'll again make one mirror of this profile at the lower side. For that, select the profiles first we want to mirror. I'll select these lines first, second, third, the last one. Then say mirror against this profile. Still one line is remaining, so we'll manually make that line here. It was not been properly selected, that's why. This close profile at the upper side has been made. We just need to say close sketch and we are going to extrude the profile here. So the extrusion height for that profile here, it is given as 15 mm. You can see here this width, it is given as 15 mm here. So I'll say 15 mm on the upper side. Say finish and cancel. So this upper profile is also been made. Now we are going to make this ribs here. For that we are going to say rib command. The orientation of the rib is at the center of the plate. So I'm going to put on the reference planes and going to select rib feature here. Say center plane as the ribs are at the center. And we are going to make the sketch that is single line for that particular rib. The total distance at the lower ends of the rib is given as 95. So from center we are going to take half of the 95 so as to provide the width of the rib. So here total distance was 95. So I'll take the dimension here as 95 by 2. The lower point of the rib line has been positioned. The height of the rib is still remaining. So the height of the rib is given here is 30 mm, you can see here. So I'm going to select this dimension, point and point. Here I'm going to say 30 mm. We are not going to make two profiles at one time. We can only provide one rib at a time. That's why I've made one profile only. Say escape and say close sketch. Now you just need to show the material direction. We need at the lower side and select the width of the rib. So here the width of the rib, I'll say this value as, it is given here as 10 mm. You can see this width of the rib is given 10 mm. There 10 mm only. Now we are going to mirror this rib on the other side, that is 3D mirror. Select the option as mirror copy feature. Now you need to select the feature you want to mirror, then say OK. Select the reference plane which is coming in between of the mirror and the rib has been mirrored here. You can see here, say OK and finish. So your mirror has been made and the rib has been converted on the other side also. Next we are going to make this cutouts here. For that we have this slot. I'll make one sketch. I'll say extrude only on this time also. We'll hide the reference planes. Select the circle command. We are going to make one circle. Align it with horizontally from origin. Next provide the diameter. So here the diameter is, you can see the width of the slot is given 14. So the diameter of the circle is also 14. Select smart dimension and say 14 as diameter. Now we need to give the position for this slot here. So the center to center distance of each slot cut is given 120. So from middle it is going to take 60 mm here. From middle reference I am going to give this value as 60 mm. Next we are going to draw these lines. The first line and the other line. Now we also need this curve here so as to close the sketch. So for that we are having that project entities option. It is very useful option. You just need to select the project to sketch option here at above of the construction line command. Select the project to sketch command and you just need to select the edge to be projected. This edge has been projected as a sketch. We are going to trim the extra profiles here. Here the complete close profile shape has been made. We'll say close sketch and we are going to cut the material here. So I'll say through all at the lower side. Say finish and cancel. Next we are going to mirror this cutout also here. Then select the feature first, go for mirror, copy feature, select the required plane reference. This plane is coming in between and you can see here this cutout is been mirrored here. Next, after making this mirror, you can see here this cutout is also being shown. So this section view AA is been referred for observing this cutout. You can see here it is kind of counter bore hole only. The depth of the upper diameter is given 35 and the upper diameter itself is given as 30. The lower diameter it is given as 20 mm and the depth is 20. So we can directly go for revolve cut or else we can use hole command also here. I'm going to use hole command only now. So for that, go for this hole feature, select options and we are going to say counter bore hole. The size here it is given as 30 mm diameter. So I'm going to refer it as M24. After taking this value, you can see this diameter is coming here as 40. But we need 30. Instead of M24, I'll say M20 only. So it is now close to 30. So I'm going to edit this value as 30. The depth here it is given as 35. So I'll edit this upper diameter depth also as 35. The lower diameter is given as 20. So I'm going to take this shaft diameter as 20. And the end condition is given through all here. So I'm going to say through all only. Say OK. Need to select the face to position the hole. Select the center point and say close sketch. Directly this counter bore hole has been made, having the upper diameter as 30, depth as 35 and lower diameter as 20 and depth as through all. You can see here in these options I have taken M20 and customized the sizes here. You can see this cutout has been made. But if I want to make this cutout by using revolve, so we will see it by other way, that is revolve command. Select the mid plane as the hole has been applied at the midsection of the part. We'll say line command first as axis of revolution. We'll make this line as an axis of revolution here. Next, we are going to make the profile. Now this relation was been made by this reference edge as coincide. I'm going to delete that relation so as to put the values properly. So this diameter was 30. I'm going to take this radius as 15. Here the depth of the hole was given 35. So I'm going to take it as 35 only. We'll make this relation, that is coincide. Next, the diameter of the lower hole was given 20 mm. So we'll take this as 10 mm here. Next, we are going to say revolve now. Say close sketch. Before closing this sketch, just make sure this axis of revolution has been made by using the axis of revolution command. Say finish and cancel. So this cutout is now been made by revolve command. So for chamfer, I am going to select chamfer command. Go to options, say angle and setback. Give the face reference. Say OK. Select the edge. Provide the values as 22 mm as distance and 30 as an angle. Say OK. Say finish. So this inner side chamfer is also been made now here. And this part has been completed. I'll hide the reference planes. Now we have not seen earlier the section views. How to provide the section views or how to check the sections here. So for making section views, we are going to say this PMI tab. In PMI tab, you can see here this section command has been given. There are two ways of making section. First one is by plane, in which we have to select the plane by clicking on the keyboard only. And the second one is by making a sketch and then taking the section view. We'll see both one by one. I'll select the section by plane option here. And you can see here, it is taking the section from Z reference. I'm going to say X on the keyboard. You can see the direction has been flipped. If I say Y, then it will go for the Y reference axis and it will take the section from here Y references. So I'll take this half section and say OK here. I have taken the Y reference on the keyboard. Say finish. You just need to select the keyboard button, that is Y, so as to apply the sections. Or else if you want X or Z, you can go for that also. So this section view has been made. You just need to put off the section view here. You can see the history of section view has been saved in the model tree. If I want to put off the section view, just need to say hide section. And if I put on this option again, this section is been provided. Again, we are going to see the section by plane. Select the section. And now if I want X reference, so I'm going to hit on the keyboard as X button. Now the X reference has been taken place here. You can rotate this section view here by these arcs, or else you can move it horizontally here. Say OK, and this section will be saved by default only. So now there are two sections. Just hit this drop down menu here and say section 1 on. Now the section 1 is being shown. If I want to show section 2B, then put off the section A and then put on the section B. Two sections here. If I want to delete the sections, select both the sections here and say delete. Now section tab has been removed here. Second way is taking the section command. Select the required plane of the reference for the section. And now I'm going to make one sketch for covering whatever portion I want in a section view. So I'll say 2-point rectangle and I'm going to cover this side portion only, half section. Next I'm going to say close sketch. You just need to show the direction of section. I'm going to say internal only. And then we need to show the direction of cutout. So I'm going to say at the back side here. Say OK and finish. Now you can see here, this one quarterly section has been made here. This cutout has been made at the back side. Again, I'll delete this section and repeat this command here. Go to section tab, select the reference plane for the sketch, make it normal, go for the rectangle, whatever profile you want you can take there. I am taking rectangle here by using 2-point. So I want section of this portion only, this 1/4 portion. Say close sketch and show the direction of cut as well as direction for this section. Say preview and finish. So now the front side 1/4 section has been cut here. If I want to hide the section from the model tree only, you can see at this side. If I want to show the section, again put on this option. So in this way you can hide and show the sections here. Next, if I want to apply the material, then select this material tab from the model tree, right click on that option, and you can see some shortcut materials are being shown in this list. But if you want to open the library only for the material, then select this material table, and in material table you can see here metals are being shown, aluminum alloys by folder form. So if I say this folder as aluminum alloys, all the aluminum types are being shown here. Next is copper alloys. You just need to expand the folder. If I want iron has been applied, I'll say this iron folder. If I want other metals, you can see here different kinds of metals are being shown here. You want steel types are available here. Titanium alloys and zinc alloys. As well as you have the library for non-metals also. If I want to say wood as a material, there are multiple varieties of wood also here. Next, so if you want DIN or GOST standard, then you can expand this model tree also here. Same options you will get in that folders also. So I'll apply here first as iron, say iron, cast iron. And now after clicking on the type of the iron, you can see the properties are being shown here. I will say apply to model. And now the cast iron has been applied to this model. Appearance has been also changed here. Now if I want to check the mass of this part, you just need to go to inspect tab, and here MV properties option, that is physical properties option, is being shown. Select that option, and according to the material, say update first. You can see here the weight here, it is coming as 1.676 kg. It will also show the material name here. Say close. Now if I want to update the material again, right click on the material tab. Again go to library. I'll say wood this time. In non-metals I'm going to select woods, and in wood I'm going to select mahogany wood. Say apply to model. And now as instead of metal it is wood here, the weight would have been changed here. You will see that in mass properties. So you can see name of the material, it is been updated as wood. Density is also been updated as well as mass is also been updated. If this update doesn't take place, you can click on this button update and it will refresh the page here. If I want to show the center of mass, you can put on the display symbol here. For center of volume also you can put on the display symbol and say update and close. Now you can see the center of mass symbol has been coming here. So you can utilize this MV properties command to see the mass, volume as well as material, density of the material, center of the mass and center of the volume. You can see the moment of inertia is also being shown here. If I want to make this user defined properties, then select this option and you can change the values here. Say OK, hide the planes here. Now wood has been applied and the mass is also being updated. So these were the remaining commands which we have left in part modeling and completed in this feature here. So in this lecture we have covered section views as well as we have made this part. For practice point of view we have made this part. We have also seen how to apply the material and check the material and mass properties. So in this way we are going to end this lecture here. We'll continue with the next lecture. Till then, thank you.